everyone, welcome to Designated Driver, where today's topic is autonomous transport. Yawn. Not exactly my favorite topic, however my co-host chose it, so I'm going to pick at them as much as possible so you don't get bored too. I would much rather talk about space, rockets, but there is one thing that does interest me, and that is the safety element. You know, imagine if you never had to lose anybody else ever again in a motor vehicle accident because autonomous cars were so safe. Now, I think that's worth pursuing. But you may have noticed as well that it's just me in the car. That's because COVID-19 restrictions means no pubs are open, which probably isn't a bad thing considering Sven was DD and he'd just be going, I can't remember what I was going to say. Beck, I can't remember the topic, for like an hour while I'm waiting in the cold. And can you imagine picking up the cyborg? Hey Speedo, where are we going? Sven's. Why are we going there? Corona. Oh, sounds exciting. So let me do it for you. You know, we are doing something very Aussie today. We are in Sven's backyard drinking beers because the restrictions have actually eased, which is fantastic. You know, we have a mixed up heritage, us three. It's Italian, Irish, Roman Catholic, Jewish, Muslim, Persian, South African, German, atheist. Yeah, it makes to be pretty interesting. And what does that have to do with technology? Absolutely nothing, but very relevant to Australia's diversity, which I love. So there you go, intro. Within 2 minutes, boom, that is my mic drop to the boys because they normally stuff it up so much. Let's go talk to them. Welcome to Designated Driver, and as you just heard in the car, we're doing autonomous transport. My favorite topic.
I don't know why you think it's a boring topic.
Because it's not happening. I mean, when you did the intro in the car,
Yes.
were you driving?
Yes.
The defense rest.
That doesn't make it boring.
Okay.
Just to clarify, ordinary people talking extraordinary things in technology. I don't feel that this is extraordinary, it's no lie. So please, wow me.
It will be one of those few technologies that's going to change everything.
How so?
Well, you probably won't need to have your own car. You probably won't need a garage. You probably won't need to get your kids to get a driver's license. Transport will be cheaper.
Would it be cheaper?
Absolutely, it would be cheaper.
Why?
Why wouldn't it be?
Why would it be?
Because insurance costs mostly disappear. If you don't own a car, you don't have to buy a car. I'm not sure where I'm going to.
You went straight to boring. You were trying to say how not boring this is. Yeah, that was boring as
That's
back,
a train of
right?
thought.
So you're in a pub. This is not a pub. We're still coronaing our way through all of this, right? But that was boring as batshit. Let me tell you what's not boring, okay?
Please do.
Yeah, the difference between what you're describing, right? So all these changes, no traffic lights, no zebra crossings, no accidents, it's wonderful. It's a utopia, but they've been talking about this utopia since 2000. They've been talking about it for 10 years, right?
1948.
Well, yes,
I'm
correct.
kidding.
Well,
It's 1925
a
actually.
long time ago they've been talking about all of
Literally.
this stuff. Yeah. However, guess what? None of it happens. You know why none of it happens? This is the pub talk side of things, right? Because we can't get started. We're talking about an end game.
No, you're just boring.
No, I'm not talking about... You can't get over the chasm. You can't have humans and autonomy in the same place. I'll tell you why. Because the rules are different.
No, I tell you what the reason is. Your field of vision is like, of course you can.
No, the rules are different. A human can make a mistake. People die. 1 million people die worldwide.
So apparently in 1925, some dude
I'm bored.
Some
decided,
dude?
no,
What's his
decided-
name? Come on, you're smart.
Hiduni.
Henry Ford? No?
Hiduni, I think.
Houdini?
No.
Houdini?
No, that's
No.
a magician.
Decided that
illusionist.
He's going to put almost like a wireless technology on a car and drive around a car wirelessly. You got to check that fact.
Do we have like an
yeah.
applause machine? No, but
1915.
that's wonderful. But the point I'm
100
still
years
trying to
ago.
make is that we can't cross the chasm. This is why we've been talking about this for 10 years. This is why all these car companies are going hell for leather on autonomous, but they're creating something that is impossible, which is an autonomous car that doesn't kill people. What if we just created an autonomous car that killed half the amount of people?
Tell me, how does it kill people? Explain.
Well, it's the fear of something going wrong. So you have these ethical dilemmas, right? Where you've got to choose between one accident or another accident. Either way, someone's going to die. Who gets to die, right? These are the things that programmers have to put into autonomous cars.
Explain what you mean by that, by choosing between what scenario, A and B.
So, for example, there's an unavoidable accident, and these things happen with humans all the time. You go down the left path to avoid a particular incident, you're going to kill an old lady and her husband. You go down the right path and you're going to kill 7 school children, right? And a programmer has to work out what algorithms take place in order for that car to make the decision, right?
It happens to humans all the time. Where do you get that fact from?
They're called accidents.
Every time I drive around in the city, I'm like, do I kill this old lady or this group of kids?
It gets worse than that, right? Because the programmers also have to take into account that it's likely you don't want to kill the person that bought the car, right? Which is the human part of it, right?
Why would anyone buy a car if the cars actually drive themselves?
Do you know,
Why would you own a car?
this is possibly
What's the point of owning a car?
one of the only interesting aspects that I had was around safety. It was like, okay, well, if autonomous cars were safer and literally nobody else would die in an accident, I think that's a pretty good thing. However,
half the people died. Why can't we go with just a 50% improvement? That's 500,000 people a year not dying. But we don't. We want this thing to be perfect.
I think it's more than that. It's like it was 1.2 million dying car accidents across the world back in 2015.
Wow, you read something.
Boring. I get to say that for once. Boring facts.
We have these however many people die.
Now you know how we
but
feel.
Tesla knocks an old lady over in her, and suddenly it's front page news.
Do you have something against old ladies? This is the second time I've used an old lady as an example.
I have spent a little bit of too much time with my mother during the coronavirus, and let's just say there's an expiry date. I didn't say that, but I love you, Mom. Can we cut that out? It's okay, she's not on the internet. We're good.
What if we go with an AI assisted or augmented driving?
What's the point of that?
Isn't that what Google Drive's doing?
Yeah.
So hang on.
The
when
point
you say
of it is
augmented or
still
assistant, that means who's responsible in an accident
The
in that
driver.
scenario? So what's the point? You've got to sit there,
There's a
concentrate.
really
You can't read your book. You can't watch a movie.
Good, easy point. And that is mile by mile or kilometer by kilometer, Tesla has been in less accidents than any other car.
There's less Teslas.
No, kilometer by kilometer.
Still, there's less Teslas.
1 million miles or 1 million kilometers on a Tesla versus 1 million kilometers on a Toyota.
But look at a type of
Compare
person that
the
buys a
numbers.
Tesla, right? This is not someone that wheel spins out of their driveway, right? This
Yeah,
is some
but you could
bunny
say,
hugging, tree
mind you,
hugging greenie.
Teslas, they've got those,
I love
what is
Teslas.
that mode called? The insanely
insane
fast
mode.
mode?
Yeah. Do they ever press that?
I don't know, but
I
they
would.
have. So, and Teslas are known for their, ridiculously fast acceleration. So the type of people that buy it
What's the point
would be
you're
the
trying to
same
make?
type that buy the, the S600 Mercedes.
Do you remember the point you were trying to make?
Yeah,
Go.
if it's augmented, it's safer, takes care of a whole lot of infrastructure issues that we currently have,
Explain why it's safer.
because there is still a human element involved directly.
Yeah, but the human is the weak point we're trying to get over through autonomous driving.
What
Correct.
we're trying to get over with autonomous driving, in terms of end vision, or what we're trying to do now? End vision is to get rid of the human element, yes.
Yes.
Because it's the most dangerous part
Yeah.
of the
But
car.
that's decades away.
It's the nut behind the wheel.
Yeah.
So going back to the point you were trying to make, which was if you're happy with half the death,
Yeah.
that's what we're trying to do with the augmented version.
No, but here's the problem that I think we have, right? If you're
You're picking problems on your own point. This is good. This is good.
This
Go
is
on.
progress. This is progress. This is how we roll, right? No, but here's the thing, right? You're trying to mix humans and autonomous cars, which means these poor programmers, and there's programmers at the back of this, have to try and figure out every element, every possible scenario,
Not
and try to program their way out of it.
true.
Yes, they do.
Because a lot of it is used, machine learning is used for a lot of it. Not everyone sits there and with, if-then
Okay.
statements programming
Fair
every
enough.
single scenario.
they still have to put in some rules.
Not
So-
really, to
Okay.
an extent.
So now you want a self-programming, self-learning autonomous car.
That would be the end game, yeah.
When
the end
someone
goal.
dies, whose fault is it?
That was going to be my next question, right? In terms of insurance, how does that work? Like, if you're in an accident, who's responsible?
The car is the car manufacturer.
You can't send a car
Oh.
to jail or give a car a written warning or anything like that
There is
because
no
the car
jail.
was stupid.
The only reason we send people to jail is for reckless driving.
Yeah.
If they are drinking under the
No, when an
influence of
accident
drugs and
happens,
alcohol,
when an accident
if
it
they
gets
are
investigated.
speeding, otherwise It's an accident.
So your
hence the name.
best
It's a
friend
collision, right?
gets killed by a car, and the report comes back saying, "Sorry, it was AI. Have a nice afternoon." Right? That's not going to make you feel better. You're going to be like, "Hang on, who programmed that thing?" Now here's my theory. You always come up with your theory. That you always like to say theory.
Can you please make sure that it's like fun and not a fun fact?
So here's it. Like
It's boring.
You know, I would be driving along this long road out in the countryside, and then boom, you hit a bird, right? And you go, why can't all the birds of the world just get together and just agree on a minimum altitude of 3 meters, right? Not a single bird would die, right? If they could just agree, 3 meters below.
Humans don't agree on simple things. You want birds to agree.
Birds
Where are
are
we going
simpler.
with this theory?
No, so what I'm trying
what
to
is the
say is
theory?
we're trying to create this autonomous utopia where all the muck and the mire of human and all these different things are happening. If you just went up 3 meters, maybe
that's
4,
where it's going.
right? Yeah. All those problems go away, right? You can actually have, in parallel to our human chaos, you could have the autonomous world of drones doing all of this automatically, no humans involved, and you don't have to
Flying
go.
cars.
Flying cars. Thank you, Beth.
Okay, that's fun.
Pay her what she wants.
Thank you.
What are we paying?
Somebody pay me,
So
please.
you
It's
rather
getting hard.
invest money in trying to solve the gravity problem
Yes.
as opposed to an AI problem.
You make it sound hard.
Explain how.
Just a bit unfortunate that there is this thing called gravity.
Yeah, but
the
hang
Earth is flat, but we have gravity.
I don't know if you've
Do you know what
realised
I
this.
mean?
People have been flying for a while now.
With a lot of noise
Beating
and sound.
gravity. Yeah, sure. Whatever. That's
And
just
expense.
Why are you such a no person? Like, do you know what? Just
yes.
find, this is what we're going to
Thank
do.
you.
Find a way. You have to find a way.
If
There's
you wanna
no
find
other
a
option.
I think it would be
4
better
meters.
to just, instead of going 3 meters, 4 meters, just go teleportation. Since we're talking silly stuff, I mean,
I think a flying car is a little bit different to
Yeah.
teleportation.
Yeah. Haven't you watched Avatar?
Oh my God.
Think about where this is going to go. Insurance. You mentioned
Yep.
insurance before. Individual insurance will no longer exist. It'll now be manufacturer insurance, right? So that whole industry.
Which they're trying to work out at the moment
Yeah.
what that is actually going to look like.
The Germans are a little bit
you're
ahead of
full
the
of
pack.
fun facts this week.
Oh my God, I've turned boring.
For once, she's done some research.
Oh my God.
It's
Impressive.
amazing. You lock someone away for 6 weeks and they read a book. But I was watching some TED Talks and they'll all be in the links.
Yep.
These are from 2010, 2011, and they're all
I
promising.
think there
the
was like
world.
a 2005 or 8.
I
So it's
know,
like
yeah.
crazy.
And the utopian story hasn't
Yeah.
changed one iota, but neither has reality.
Yes.
We're still not there.
Although, if you think about it, things like autonomous forklifts and so forth, right? In a smaller controlled environment, things are happening. So perhaps it's just a step-by-step process.
So that's a really good point that you bring up. A lot of these things.
Thanks.
Yeah, that's it. A lot of these things, though, are in a controlled environment.
Yes,
so,
they are.
You know, autonomous forklifts. We've been dealing with autonomous or automated ports and things like that. A lot of that actually requires the underlying infrastructure to have all the magnets and sensors and all these sorts of things that you can't do on the open road. And this is again the problem with this. You know, at ground level, is you have to deal with.
You
the
really
street
want
that's
a
in the middle of
flying
nowhere.
car,
I
don't
want a
you?
flying car. All
The
problems
DeLorean, preferably?
No, it needs to land vertically without the fire.
Okay.
Fire is an insurance nightmare. Think it through, Beck.
Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry. But they're already starting to or have been testing things like automated trucks as well as buses. I mean, is that
Well,
because...
the promise is big, right? The promise is big. When you start looking at things like platooning, right, where you can bring trucks, buses, heavy haulage within half a meter of each other,
Yeah.
they're basically like unconnected trains. There's massive savings to be had.
Well, I'm gonna have an idea.
Things.
I'm going to have an idea. This
Or do you
that
have
was
an
just
idea?
Bad England.
Yes.
Definitely. But back to cybersecurity and these autonomous vehicles. I think there are a number of things we got to think about, right? One is a direct attack on the vehicle. So somebody hacks into
Yes.
the vehicle and makes it do weird things.
Which has been done.
right?
Yep.
Tick.
Has it?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, exciting. But anyways,
Yeah.
the second thing is these vehicles are meant to be collecting data. right? When we're talking about
Yes.
vehicle-to-vehicle communication, vehicle-to-signage, infrastructure communication.
Yep.
So there is a way to effectively get that communication hacked. Imagine a speed sign or road sign that sends a different message to the vehicle.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah. This is a 60k zone. No, this is a
Correct.
160k zone. Go for it. Yep.
The third
Try
way,
explain that to the cops.
the third way would be an interesting one, and that's when you teach a vehicle to do something different. Because if you're using machine learning,
Yeah, it's
it
interesting.
learns based on the data
Yep.
that it gets.
Mm-hmm.
What if
So
you
put in
corrupt the
hacked
data?
Yep.
What if, as an example, this is just going
Yeah.
a little bit crazy, but
Okay.
as an example,
you,
if
it's
you
fine.
have some sort of a secret gesture that you show to a car, let's say a manufacturer, if you're from a certain country, slightly rogue nation, and that nation decides that they're going to program all their chipsets to do something strange when a particular signal is given to the car. So you could do what Sven does before a cut, this thing, and all of a sudden, the car stops or
Yep.
drives at 100 kilometers per hour.
So it's like a car that's under some hypnotic.
I was just
power.
thinking that,
Correct.
like
You know,
bark like a
yeah.
dog.
Yeah.
Because you would never know. You would never know.
Okay.
And
you
the
could
final
use this
type.
as an attack.
Correct.
vector, Yep. Okay.
And the final type is something that actually doesn't cause any direct damage, but it's got a long-term effect. Imagine if
what if?
you haven't yet. What if you've got an intentionally suboptimal algorithm in place,
Yep.
right? Where instead of you being able to safely drive at 100 kilometers an hour, you drive at 98 kilometers an hour. Could you potentially slow down economy? Because you're actually slowing down transport.
It took a long time to hit that. I was like,
I was really waiting for a good point.
press it, press it.
Interesting point.
I get what you're saying, and interesting. Yeah, okay. We could slow an economy down so slowly that no one realizes that you've slowed the economy down.
Yeah.
That's a really good thing.
Is
Anyway.
it?
No, but those are the type of attacks that you could potentially suffer in a
Okay.
fully autonomous...
After a while, people are like, wow, China's doing so well, the United States isn't. Could it be the autonomous
Speaking
cars?
of which, it's
Stop it.
interesting because it goes back to one of the points that we were making earlier on.
We made a
machine
point?
Learning. Yeah.
Okay,
somebody
sure.
made a point. Machine
Okay.
learning using data.
Probably me.
If you are teaching the vehicles to drive around in countries like China, India, countries that road rules don't really apply,
That's a
will
fairly
the
safe
car actually be a safer car?
Well, that's
Because
true. I
all of a
can-
sudden it's used to seeing
Well, it's like Mumbai.
weird things. Correct.
Yeah.
It's used to seeing
crazy.
weird things happen on the road. I'm just going to guess, but a level 5 autonomous vehicle is probably a couple of decades away. And that's not necessarily a technology problem. I think that's more of an infrastructure problem. Even regulation in countries like China, they will probably happily change laws to suit technology as opposed to what every other country in the world does, which is change technology to suit their laws. But I think it's an infrastructure problem.
You haven't really touched on is public transport, right?
I said buses.
Yeah, you did. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Autonomous
Ruining my
public
point.
transport.
Yeah,
What's the difference?
Well, where we talk about things like trams, trains, buses, and all those sort of things that, you see these videos as well where they decouple themselves. Because the problem, of course, between public transport and your own transport is your own transport takes you right into your driveway, public transport doesn't, right?
Yeah.
If you could get to that point where public transport being autonomous can in fact take you all the way home, right? Like a autonomous Uber as an example. Is that different, where you don't own the car anymore? It's like an autonomous taxi. Does that make a difference?
Look, I think once we have a fully autonomous vehicle, we probably won't have a need for our own vehicle to begin with. That aside, though, we could potentially come up with the concept of autonomous pods, but it's not a full-featured vehicle. But if you have pods
Keep going.
in a chain instead of a train, and
Yes.
then the pod just deattaches itself,
Yeah.
takes you to your home, and then reattaches itself back to that.
But there are people that they won't do the pod because it's not theirs. was the point.
I
There
don't know
will
that
be
I agree
people
with that.
Wouldn't buy TVs and
But you know what?
smartphones.
Like if you think about
you can't
it,
cater for everything. and
when
everybody.
you're on a plane, like it's autopilot, right? You do have a pilot there that can take over, but it's still everybody trusts going up in a plane. No worries.
The pilot decides to work from home. There's a whole bunch of different...
You know what I'm trying to say? I'm saying people will get comfortable with whatever's put in front of them. If all you've ever known is getting on a bus that's autonomous, then you don't care. You don't think about it. Ooh, we should go into the good, the bad, and the ugly. Was there a final point before we go to good, bad, ugly?
I have a point.
Oh, God.
Okay, let's hear it.
Is this time for a fun fact about KPMG doing a study and releasing it around?
Can you make
Okay,
that fast?
just a disclaimer, this is not a fun fact. It's not fun, but go, please.
It's probably not even a fact.
I mean, take out the please and just go.
Top 20 countries that are ready or becoming ready
Okay.
for an autonomous vehicle type infrastructure. Netherlands, number 1. Australia, number 15. Behind Israel, I think.
Yeah.
US, number 5.
Mm-hmm. Good, the bad, the ugly. I'll go good because that's what I do. I'm gonna say increased safety.
So the bad is we're not going to get there anytime soon, right? Because there's just too many variables. There's too many ethical dilemmas.
I actually struggled finding an ugly.
Did you look in the mirror?
From a cybersecurity perspective, that could be the bad and the ugly. Other than that, I thought about job losses, and I actually think it will create different type of work. I thought about anything else that could potentially be ugly with this technology, and it's just cybersecurity concerns. Other than that, it's all good. I want one. When can I have it?
Yeah.
20 years. Winch file.
Yeah. You know, we've been stuck in the Corona world, all at home and everything, and I'm very fortunate. I have got a garden where my kids can play, but I'm seeing in all these neighborhoods, these new houses, these wall-to-wall mansions, no garden. And I'm saying to all you parents that are building these bloody monstrosities, where are the kids playing? Get a house with a garden, buy a lawnmower, get a life.
First world whinge. You go.
No, it's you. All you.
Fine. Related to the topic of conversation, people that have got their driver's license out of a cornflakes box. If you don't know how to drive, get the F out of the roads. Don't do 100 k's on.
Are you one of those people, though, where anyone who drives faster than you is a moron, anyone who drives slower than you is an idiot?
Yes.
We've got a speed sign that it tells you exactly what's the maximum speed you're allowed to do.
And you stay within the limit, do you?
Depends on my mode of transport.
Depends. Okay. All right. Next.
I have no whinge.
So boring.
Wow.
We've had restrictions lifted. I was on a mountain in very fresh air this morning. I feel good.
And
No
yet you
whinge.
don't look happy.
Maybe because I was looking at your face. That is it. You've got a whinge. Post it. Let us know. We'll play it. Stick around and watch the whinges and feedback after this episode. And we're out. Hey DD viewers, I'm going to read you some of the comments and the whinges. We love outtakes. Can you guys just do that? We could be the outtake show. We definitely have enough footage, although I'm pretty sure that majority of it we couldn't probably play. You can thank Speedo for that. Vec, thanks for keeping it simple. I'm technically challenged but love the topics. You're welcome. I would like to know more about CRISPR and the potential to cure or prevent corona. Thanks for the basics. Well, we don't proclaim to be medical geniuses. I was going to say technical geniuses, but I'm going to say that too. But we'll post some links to podcasts and articles and so forth at ddseries.com. Wow, don't know how you do it, Beck. Those two are pretty mean to you. Yes, they are, aren't they? You should see what they say when the camera's not rolling. But don't worry, I do get my own back. Okay, whinges. Lockdown is my whinge. I think that's a lot of people's whinges. Homeschooling. Wow, I'm sure that's not fun. Home violence is worse in lockdown. What's the government doing about that? You know, I don't have the answer to that one, but yeah, I'm with you. I could go on a whole bunch of other whinges after that, but I'm going to save it for the next episode. We'll see you then.